Hello my dear friends, you're on the Military Summary channel and today we will discuss the situation in Ukraine on the 7th of May. Today we got a lot of very interesting news, so let's start. And today I would like to start from one of the most important pieces of news, and I must say that Popasna has been fallen. Yesterday in the evening I got information that Ukrainian group that was located in the south west of Popasna retreated towards Bakhmut, towards this town. And today, right like an hour ago, I got the news that entire Popasna has been fallen and was captured by the Russians, and that there are no Ukrainians in the town anymore, and that now Russians, they're doing their clear approach. If we take a look at Popasna, at first the Russians established control over this territory. It was yesterday in the evening, and Ukrainian forces from this area, they retreated using this road towards Bakhmut. And today in the evening, Russian official sources announced that the Russians established control over the north part of the town Popasna. And the Ukrainian forces that were located in the north part of Popasna retreated in the north direction, towards the town Komyshuvaha. And this is very important news, because as far as you can see, this is a big valley. This entire place is a big valley, and there is no barrier for the Russians to start any offensive operation in any direction. They can start their offensive operation in direction of Bakhmut. They can start their offensive operation in the north, towards the Lysychansk, or they can move towards, for example, Seversk. So let's discuss the situation and understand what are Russians planning to do in this area. But before that, let's add more updates about this territory. Also today we got information from the Kadyrov is Chechensky leader. He has his own Telegram channel, and today in his channel he published the information that they established total control over the town Nizhny. They not just established control, but they also cleared this town from Ukrainian forces totally. And now they're moving from the Nizhny in direction of the northwest. This is their direction of their main attack. Also, don't forget about the town Orekhovo and Grachove. If we take a look at the Russian sources map, you can see that this town Orekhovo, half of this town is in the gray zone, and that there are heavy clashes there, and that the Russians are moving from the southeast in direction of northwest. And some sources are saying that this half of this town is already under Russian control, and the Russians, they're not updating this map because maybe they just don't know how much exactly of this town is under the Russians. But the town Grachov is totally under Russians. So let's update this map for better understanding of the Russians' position in this area. So we can say that Grachove and half of Orekhovo is under the Russian control. And if you remember in my previous video, I told you that the main direction of these forces is to take control over Orekhovo and then to move to this forest. As far as you can see, the Ukrainian forces that located in this area are in a very big trouble. Sure, it looks like the picture of a small cauldron in this area, at least the forces that located here in Zolotoye. Now let's talk about the further step of the Russian forces in Popasna. And one more thing about the Popasna. This is the town where the Wagner PMC fought. Military, it's a very professional PMC, and they were fighting in this area. I think that the Russians, they're not planning to attack Bakhmut right now. I think that they're planning to establish something like defense line here that will cut the Bakhmut from this area. It will be a very powerful defense area, very powerful fortified area, and the main purpose of this area not to allow these forces to counterattack, to make offensive operation in this direction. And the main purpose of Popasna, at least for now, to move to the north, towards the Lysychansk agglomeration. Now let's move to the Lysychansk agglomeration. As you see this, the west map has been updated. Yesterday we discussed about the battles in Severodonetsk, and some Russian sources told that there was battles almost in the middle of this town. But as far as I see, the time has passed, and the information we understand what kind of information is fake, what is real, and I understand that there is no battles in Severodonetsk at all, at least in the middle of this town. But it was true that the Russians, they took control over the town Voivodovka. At least the west source map, they update their map, and as you see, they are showing us that at least half of this town is under the Russians. So yesterday this town wasn't under the Russians, but today this town, at least half of this town under the Russians. And if we take a look at the Russian sources map, you're going to see that this map is not updated, and the Voivodovka is still under Ukrainian forces and the Ukrainians. But I think that today, maybe today by this evening or tomorrow morning, they will update this territory, and we will see the picture of this territory, the real picture of this territory. Also, this morning I got information from Ukrainian sources, Ukrainian authorities, that the group in Severodonetsk, that Ukrainian forces in Severodonetsk, they asked permission from their command center to retreat from this area. And according to this map, the main clashes are here in the north, in these forests, and that the Russians, they're attacking from the town Prudivka in direction of Severodonetsk. And these forces, the Severodonetsk group, there are around 4,000 soldiers there, according to official information we got from the Ukrainian sources. And these forces, they asked permission to retreat towards Lysychansk, because there is a real risk of being surrounded by the Russians. It was official request of the forces in this area. So let's try to understand what's going on there. So if you remember yesterday, the Russian forces, using this forest, they attack in direction of Voivodovka. One important update is regarding this industrial zone, this powder plant. Russians said that the northeast part of this powder plant is under the Russians. So we can say that at least this part of the industrial zone is under Russians. And from this forest, using this, of course, industrial zone, the Russians attacked in direction of Voivodovka. We discussed that yesterday. And as you see, and as far as I understand, they established control and they took this town very fast. They didn't spend a lot of time like they're spending in Rubizhnoye and Severodonetsk. They did this operation very fast, for a few hours. And they captured half of this Voivodovka. They captured enough of territory to continue their offensive operation in direction of Severodonetsk. And as far as I understood, they continue their offensive operation in this direction. So that's why the Ukrainian forces, they requested permission to retreat. Because as you see, there are not much places where you can retreat towards Lysychansk. There are a few bridges, and I'm not sure that these bridges are still exist. And for example, I can't even imagine what are these forces in these towns are planning to do. Because if the Russians attacked in this direction, and also there are endless attacks from the north, from this area, they're endless. Russians, they're attacking all the time from this area. And they're not allowing Ukrainian forces to retreat from this territory. They're freezed because they need to give fight. They always need to defend themselves. And there is no way how they can raise up and to move in direction of Lysychansk. And this is about Severodonetsk. And the question is, what are these guys planning to do? Because for them, there is no way to retreat using this river. The only way how these forces can retreat is using these roads. So we'll see what's next. Another important news came today from this area. This is the area we discussed in previous videos, where, according to my information I have, the Russians are planning to open the second front line, another front line in this area. And the news is that there are fighting along all these river. that there are shooting fightings in the town Privilya, in town Shepilivka, in town Bilogorovka, in town Grigorivka, and in town Serebryanka. And that's also a very bad piece of news for the Ukrainians. So let's mark this on this map. There are shooting battles in Privilya, shooting battles in Shepilivka, in Bilogorivka, in Serebryanka. So we see that using this forest, the Russians, they're attacking with their sabotage groups all these front line, all this territory along the river, the Ukrainians. So as you see, the Russians, they're attacking this territory from all sides, and that they managed to penetrate the Ukrainian defense in the area of Popasna and in the area of Zolotoye. Now let's move to the Liman area. We discussed this territory much in the beginning of this week. There was a very active battles and heavy clashes in this area. We discussed about the progress of the Russians, that they took a lot of towns under their control. By the way, this map is still not updated. That they established control over the town Alexandrovka, that there is battles in the town Shandrigolovia, that the Russians established control over this triangle of these roads, and so on. And we expected that sooner or later we would see the battles in the Liman and the battle for Liman and the battle for this area. But for now we see that there is no movement here. I'll try to explain to you. As you know, the Russians, they're using their flamethrower system, TOS-1 Sunburn. This is a very powerful flamethrower system. There is a big fire in this place between Liman and Yampil. There is a big fire between Svetogorsky, Arova and Alexandrovka. There is a big fire in this forest. So that's why the Russians, they slow down and they can't continue their operation till they find a solution with this fire. But from the other side, we can say that this fire is not bad for the Russians, because as you know, there is just Ukrainian forces in this forest, and that means that Ukrainian forces is in the epicenter of this fire, of this forest. So we'll see what's next. Now let's move to Izyum area. This is the place we discussed the area a few times. That Ukrainians, they managed to establish their pontoon bridges over this territory. At least in this area there is more and more information that the Ukrainians, they take control over this town Redneva, that they're trying to cross this river from the Protopopivka, and that they're collecting their forces in this forest, and that the main idea of these forces is to attack Izyum. To tell the truth, this is a very nice operation. It's a very important operation, and this operation is very necessary for Ukrainians. But to tell the truth, I have a very bad feeling about this operation. Really, I have very bad feelings about this operation. And first of all, I have very bad feelings because of these fires. You know that I repeat myself that the Russians, they're using their flamethrower systems. And I'm not sure, and the weather now is very dry. By the way, there was a very nice comment from my previous video about the weather, and there was information that the next week there is rain there. And first I thought that it might be very good for the Ukrainians, because if there would be rain, that means that they will be able to cross this river and to attack the Izyum. So that's why I decided to check the weather for the next week. This is our area, this is the place we're talking about, this is Izyum, and this is the forest. This is the forest, so first of all I wanted to check the weather. What is the weather for the next week? So, and I saw, and you can see that the weather next week, at least today, tomorrow, on the Monday, at least let's check till Tuesday, is very nice. It's very hot weather, we can say, and the weather is dry. And that means that there is a lot of risk that this forest is also can be on the fire. Now let's take a look at the precipitation map. And also you can see that the weather is also good. There's no rains there for the next week. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let's take a look till Tuesday. There is no rains. That means that the Ukrainian forces, they're collecting their forces in these forests, or just one rain on Monday. And that's it. Tuesday weather is perfect. And you see that the Ukrainians, they're collecting their forces in this area to make offensive operation towards this, because there is a very big possibility and very big chance that these forces might be burned in this forest. They, as I know, according to the Ukrainian official forces, there are around 2,500 soldiers. And the Ukrainians, they're planning to throw these, to move these forces, these soldiers with their heavy equipment towards this forest. And if the Russians are able to, after Ukrainians do this, if the Russians are able to blow the bridges, if they are able to spot all these pontoon bridges and to cut the way to retreat, and after that, if the weather is dry, if they are able to burn this place with the flamethrower systems, these operations, this offensive Ukrainian operation, might be a disaster for them. But let's see what's next. Another important piece of news about the frigate that, according to the Ukrainian officials, was blown near this island. As far as you know, this was another important news came today from Odessa. Odessa is the area where there are a lot of Bayraktars are located, and the Ukrainians, they use these Bayraktars to attack this island, Snake Island, Bile Island, and they're trying to attack the Russian fleet. So that's why the Russians, they were bombing this town from the very morning till the evening, and Nikolaev and Odessa, trying to destroy their infrastructure, their airport infrastructure that might be used for those Bayraktars. And that's it for today. Thank you for your watching, subscribe to my channel, and enjoy your weekend.